Let's now get the latest from our reporter, Neria Hlakotsa, who is in Benoni for us. Neria, very good afternoon to you. Of course, one of the things that we were discussing there with Professor Abram is that the problems of urbanization also putting great pressure on school systems in as far as placement is concerned, amongst others. Just talk to us about where exactly you are in Benoni and what are you seeing there?
Good afternoon to you. We are here in Benoni at one of the Departmental. Of course, what we are seeing right now is parents who are queuing, essentially trying to locate schools for their children. Some of them were telling us that the biggest problem that they are having right now is that their children were placed at schools that were not their preference. And today, while some of the students or while some of the children are starting grade 1, grade 8, their children are stuck at school, and mainly because they do not have a school to go to, and some are saying the schools that the children were placed at are very far and they can simply not afford the transport to take their children there. I must tell you that this situation here in Benoni is not isolated. As you can see, the parents, some of them even telling us that they've been here as early as 6 a.m. this morning. It's not isolated. When you look in Morningside this morning, we also went there, and we also went to Soweto, where parents were also just queuing up, trying to make sure that they find space for their children on this first day of the 2025 academic school year. But right now I'm joined by the spokesperson for the Gauteng Department of Education, Steve Mabona, just to hear from him about what we are seeing in most parts of the province. Steve, thank you so much for joining us. What we are seeing here in Benoni is not isolated, and parents are unhappy, saying that their children are placed at schools that are far, schools that they did not even choose while applying. What are we saying as the department?
No. That assertion would be wrong to say they didn't choose. They would have chosen the schools. I'm talking about those that applied late. Because when you check in the queues, most of the parents, they applied late. And we have indicated that during late applications, we're only going to avail schools that have space. Those that don't have capacity, we did not avail in the system. But those that chose the schools that are far, they are coming at the districts. They will then have to check on how they're going to assist them, checking on the schools that are in the neighboring, on how we're going to overcrowd. Because it's factual that we're going to have to overcrowd some of our schools. We know that, during the year, you will have opportunistic people coming to our schools and telling us that our schools are overcrowded. Meanwhile, they know now this is the challenge that we are facing. We are highly pressured in Gauteng. There are areas where we cannot accommodate everyone. Where we are so pressured, we have introduced what we call satellite schools. We introduced 10 of them last year already. This year we are going to introduce about 15 of satellite schools. And we've already placed, in some of them we've already placed. Interimly, we are housing those learners in other schools, but they will be moving into those satellite schools. The plan is to alleviate that pressure. We know that working with the infrastructure, we'll still be introducing more new schools, the brick and mortar, but we want to plead with parents, those that would have been placed at the satellite schools. Some of them, it's them who are in the queues because they don't want the satellite schools. It's because it's mobile units. We need to do away with this myth that a mobile unit cannot teach. Yesterday, we were announcing that Lufering in the Johannesburg West District, they gave us 100%, 95% bachelor passes. It's a mobile unit. What we do there is a matter of making sure that those mobile units should be conducive for process of teaching and learning while we alleviate the pressure.
But Steve, I just want us to speak about the preparedness of the department when you introduce the online system. It's basically every year we are seeing cues of the sort. Were you prepared for something like this for this academic school year, that you will be finding parents who are unhappy and there would be some sort of a plan in terms of how to deal with this? Because some children, like right now here on the queues, are not at schools while others are at schools. They do not have the privilege of enjoying the first day of the 2025 academic school year. Did the department not see this problem coming?
No, but the department cannot be blamed for circumstances that are beyond the department. Like for instance, when I was doing the queue, checking on what are the problems, some parents just arrived today. They are relocating. So can't blame the department. It's circumstances that are probably they are beyond them as parents as well, because if someone passed away who was staying with a child and they want to relocate, we can't blame them, we can't blame the department. It's circumstances. So, and you can't blame the system. I think we need to drill that. You cannot blame the system. Some of the parents here, they are here for inner grades. The process that is managed at the school level, they are here at the district. When they are relocating, they don't want grade 1 and 8. That's where we deal with the system. So you can't say let's blame the system. The system actually is assisting us. Just imagine if we do away with the system. This is what is going to be happening in our schools. Parents must wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning, because some of them, they're telling us that they came here at 2 o'clock in the morning. It means parents must come at our schools, all of them, over 2,000 schools, 2 o'clock in the morning, they queue there. There's impatience that will be coming to parents, element of violence, some because they've been here for so long, they are not patient, they want to fight amongst themselves. The system is assisting us to alleviate this pressure at a higher scale. This is on the lower scale. So we will not be going to a higher scale because there's only few parents or people that are complaining. We have placed over 325,000 learners in all our schools. How many learners we're talking about now here? We need to compare and check, give us the numbers to say how many we're talking about. It's a number that we can manage and assist those that need to be assisted, but we can't be blaming the system.
Thank you so much for your time, Steve. I just want to also bring in some of the parents that we were speaking to earlier. Ma'am, thank you so much for your time and thank you for joining us. Okay, I will just come back to you, Mama, just a bit later so that we can just speak about what you were saying earlier on, that you are unhappy that you were waiting here. So basically, parents here saying that they are unhappy with the situation. They came early. So, of course, we will also come back and speak to more parents just to hear. But the department is clear that this system of online, it is working because they have managed to place at least 300,000 children, so they cannot be blamed simply for this. But we will definitely speak to more parents just to hear what they would have to say about this situation.
And Neria, it would have been important to speak to some of those parents at this time, given what Steve Mabona had just been saying in terms of, why we are always seeing ourselves in this situation. But thank you so much for that, Neria Hlakotsa, there for us, of course, coming live from Benoni, in one of the department centers where parents are queuing to register their children. Of course, placement issues that we are seeing recurring year in, year out, every beginning of an academic year. Steve Mabona there stressing that in most cases it is outside the department's hands where placement issues arise, and in some cases outside the parents' hands too. But we'll continue then to monitor that particular situation, because it is of concern that grade 1s and grade 8s are still trying to get placement.